On this week's edition, we'll tell you about some exciting plans for the Mary Washington Monument and Lodge here on Washington Avenue in Fredericksburg. I'm at 1500 Washington Avenue, and behind me is the Mary Washington Monument. On this property is also the Mary Washington Lodge. And I'm with Ann Darren, who is the Executive Director of Washington Heritage Museums, which recently became the owner of this beautiful property. So Ann, thank you for joining us today.
Oh, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about how Washington Heritage Museums came to be the owner of this property.
Yeah, so the city struggled for several years, many years in fact, with how to best care for the property. And eventually, through a lot of city meetings, public hearings, etc., it was decided that the best thing to do was to keep it in public use, but through using a nonprofit as the owners of it and to care for it.
I think it's really a great resolution, and I applaud Washington Heritage Museums and the City Council on this great resolution. I think y'all will be great stewards of this property. So Washington Heritage Museums, what are the other properties that you own, that your organization owns here in town?
So this really is such a wonderful crowning jewel for the organization, because in addition to this site, we have the Rising Sun Tavern, which was originally the home of Mary Washington's youngest son, Charles, and it later became a tavern. The Hugh Mercer Apothecary Shop, and Hugh Mercer was a physician who treated Mary Washington. St. James House, and the owner of that, James Mercer, witnessed the will of Mary Washington. And of course, the Mary Washington House, where she spent the last 17 years of her life.
So what plans does Washington Heritage Museums have for the property, and I guess specifically the Caretaker's Lodge? How do you intend to use it?
Yeah, so first and foremost for us, we want to increase the accessibility of the site and also the interpretation of the site. So on the exterior, we've already been removing years of overgrowth on the brick wall, and we certainly intend to continue that this spring. And right now, the only way to get up to the site is with a set of steps, and for some folks, that is not something that they can navigate. So eventually, we will have it so that people could park over by Hitchcock Street and come across the site to be able to visit the monument and Meditation Rock, the Eskridge Oak, without having to climb a set of steps. And you mentioned the building, and what we intend to do on the inside is to create a small museum in what's known as the Connecticut Room. And the rest of the building will serve as our headquarters for our organization. We'll have offices there. There is a nice large room that we can use as a multi-purpose space for classes, for board meetings, for committee meetings, etc. So we're very excited about that. And as I mentioned, the Connecticut Room will be a great spot to interpret the site, the interesting history of the monument.
Well, that all sounds great. Do you have sort of a timeline in mind for when all of that might occur?
Well, I'm glad you asked. So right now we're doing fundraising for it. None of these things, unfortunately, they do all incur a cost. So we are in the process of fundraising. We did just receive a nice matching grant, and we received not only the grant, but the match. And we'll be applying for other grants here in the very near future. Great.
Well, we can't wait to see what you all do with this property. It's such a historic property. It's such a prominent property, and it's been a great partnership with your organization. So thank you, Ann, personally, for your interest, Chuck and Michael, your entire board, for the vision that has come to fruition now. We look forward to seeing it play out over the next few years.
Well, thank you. City Council, city staff were all absolutely fantastic to work with over the last many months, and we really do appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right. Well, more good things to come, so we'll have to come back over here sometime soon.
I hope you do. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Ann. Okay, so that'll do it for this week's edition. We'll see you next week.